This camera's really heavy. I don't know about this, man. If I can't hold a vlog camera, we're gonna have some very serious trouble.
See, but in 2 weeks, people are gonna be watching your vlog, and the picture will go black because you will have crushed the camera and it will have disintegrated with this newfound strength.
I mean, we have a heavy camera. Like, everybody's like, we vlog with such a big camera, but like, man, oh man, this is it's heavier than normal.
You need high def for the veins in your biceps.
Oh man, we didn't even work out my arms.
We did biceps. We did back and bis today.
Okay.
Typical meathead stuff. You did good.
Yeah, I really like that I can do 2, maybe 3 chin-ups.
Yep.
About 2 or 3.
It's impressive.
Which is great.
Yep.
It's super impressive.
Yeah, that's like starting at 8. We'll get you to 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, you know, just killing it. It's 9:20. I've been awake since 6:20. Now I have to go into work.
And crush food. So you smashed weights, and now you have to crush food.
Oh, there's so much to eat. We made it all yesterday. Oh, there's like, I have to have like 6 meals. I have 4 meals at work, so they're all in like little baggies and little...
And everybody's gonna think you're a weirdo.
Everybody already thinks I'm a weirdo.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Hey vlog, so I want to thank all of you awesome people for sending in applications to be volunteers. I know there's probably still going to be way more applications, but thank you to everybody who already has. And I've pretty much spent all day today, except for when I was editing the vlog, going through all of the volunteer information and going through all of your applications. And we have this big spreadsheet. And it looks like this. It's blurred because I don't want to show people's information, but it goes all the way across and then all the way down. That's all of your stuff. And this is the part where I really dislike computers. I'm actually more of like a pen and paper kind of person, and I would love to just cover this entire table with a huge chart and to have all of your stuff on papers printed out and just all over the place so I can like put it in piles and be really organized, because I hate the fact that it's all in like one thing and I have to like go between categories and figure out who's best suited for what and adding numbers, like color coding and number coding, and I would much rather do that on paper, but that would just be ridiculous. That's like printing out hundreds and hundreds of pieces of paper, so that's not gonna work. But eventually I'm hoping when I actually have to map out where all of the volunteers are going to be and where they're going to be positioned, I'm hoping to put a huge like map or chart or something on this table and just take all this stuff off of it and just stand around it and like mark up everything, and that'll be the best time ever. That'll be so exciting to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. As for right now, I'm just reading through everybody's stuff and I'm putting little stars beside things and figuring out who fits where the best. I'm pretty excited. You guys have some really interesting things that you've done, and it's really interesting to read all of your history and all of the reasons why you should be volunteers. So I'm super excited.
Hey vlog, it's really late. So I came back from Hamilton this afternoon, but in the morning while I was still there, I went downtown and I went to a cafe. There's a section in Hamilton that's sort of like the international district. It's just a place where it's easier for people to get businesses related to culture. So there's a lot of like culturally themed restaurants and cafes there, and I was at one called Cafe Oranje, which was a Dutch cafe, I guess, and they served boterkoek and they served stroopwafels, and there was this little dish of like free druppies. But that's not important to the story. What was important was I went there and I ordered coffee and I sat down with my computer and my tablet to do some work. So this guy walked past me to the counter, and the barista had gone into the back to get some cleaning supplies, so he wasn't there. And he looked at me and I asked him, do you want me to go check where the barista is? And he was like, no, that's fine. So I went back to work, and then suddenly I heard this like jingling, and I looked up and he had reached into the change bowl and taken out all of the loonies and toonies and then just bolted for the door. And he didn't know, I guess he didn't know that the owner was like sitting at like outside on the patio and stopped him at the door. But it was just not something I expected to happen. So I got back this afternoon and I was on the phone pretty much the whole time with a phone provider trying to do stuff. I kept on having to call different people and, give the same information over and over and over again, and it gets really confusing, and then you confuse somebody and you don't know if you got the information wrong or if they're just dumb, and you're just going back and forth. But at one point, one person told me they were going to transfer me to a different person, and they put me on hold, and there was the music playing, and then there was that, recorded message that's usually like, service provider will be with you in a moment or something, but it was in French. And there was no English after the French, which is usually what happens when you have French voice messages, that it'll be like, it'll go back and forth between English and French. So I was confused, but I stayed on the line because like I could understand what the message was saying because I've taken French in school. So I knew it was like, oh, press this number if you want to talk to this person. So I pressed it, and then someone picked up and immediately started speaking to me in French. And I had this little moment where I was like, do I have to pretend the whole time that I'm French? I didn't want to offend the person by like speaking in English, because they were obviously like there to help French-speaking people, and I had like pressed the wrong button or something. So there was an awkward silence, and then he was like, hello, and finally I answered, I'm like, I'm sorry, I think I pressed the wrong button. And he was like, no, it's fine, and he like helped me out, and it worked out fine. But I could tell, like, just from, like, the noises around him that I was definitely calling the wrong place. But he helped me out anyway, which was really nice of him. I'm, like, a really awkward person to talk to for the first time. Like, if you've ever met me in real life, I was probably awkward at some point. And that's, like, amplified by 10,000 when I'm on the phone. And it doesn't help that, like, I always feel like I have, like, a really girly, not cool voice. But when I was on the phone today, I had really bad cold, so I sounded grumpy the whole time. And I could tell that the guy was like a little like, why is this girl so annoyed with me? And I was like, no, you're so nice. I'm just so sick. Anyway, I'm hoping that one day I can just avoid all human contact and live under a rock and never talk to anyone ever and just use text messaging. Which is not to say that I don't like talking to people. It's just when you meet me, you have to have a certain amount of patience with me, because I'm usually going to stutter or say really strange things and not really know how to string together what I want to say. Anyway, it's been a pretty long day for everybody. I did not expect to be the last person up, but here I am. So I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
Give me daily vlogs, I want them in my subscription box. I wonder who might drop by, even though sometimes it's Canada outside. So don't go away, we're here every day. It's not ApprenticeEh, it's ApprenticeEh. Hey, 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 hey. Home is where the vlog is.